In 1956, a discovery would forever alter the destiny of Nigeria. It was a time of great anticipation and uncertainty as the nation stood on the brink of a new era. Oil, the lifeblood of modern economies, was found in commercial quantities. This black gold, hidden beneath the earth, promised to transform Nigeria's economic landscape. This momentous event sparked hope and promised prosperity for the nascent nation. The air was filled with excitement as news spread like wildfire, igniting dreams of wealth and progress. Nigeria, with its vast reserves, dreamt of a future free from poverty and underdevelopment. The government envisioned new schools, hospitals, and infrastructure projects that would uplift the lives of millions. The world took notice, and Nigeria was poised to become a major player on the global stage. International oil companies flocked to the country, eager to tap into its newfound wealth. Little did anyone know, this discovery would be both a blessing and a curse. While oil brought immense wealth, it also led to environmental degradation, corruption, and social inequality. The promise of prosperity was overshadowed by the challenges that lay ahead. The discovery of oil in Nigeria presents a paradox. A nation blessed with abundant natural resources, yet grappling with persistent poverty and underdevelopment. This stark contrast underscores the complex and often contradictory nature of oil wealth.
The discovery of oil in 1956 marked a pivotal moment in Nigeria's history. It was a time when the nation stood on the brink of transformation, with the promise of untapped wealth lying beneath its soil. This monumental discovery transformed Nigeria's economic landscape virtually overnight. Cities began to grow, infrastructure projects took off, and the nation started to see the glimmer of a prosperous future. Prior to this discovery, agriculture formed the backbone of the Nigerian economy. The vast majority of Nigerians were engaged in farming, cultivating crops like cocoa, groundnuts, and palm oil. These agricultural activities were the mainstay of the economy, providing livelihoods for millions and contributing significantly to the nation's GDP. However, oil quickly became the dominant force, contributing significantly to the country's gross domestic product, or GDP. The sharp rise in GDP was unprecedented, and the oil boom brought about a wave of economic optimism and opportunity. This rapid economic growth attracted foreign investors and positioned Nigeria as a key player in the global oil market. International oil companies flocked to Nigeria, eager to tap into its vast reserves. Meetings between Nigerian officials and foreign investors became commonplace as the world took notice of Nigeria's newfound potential. Oil revenues became the lifeblood of the Nigerian government, accounting for a substantial portion of its earnings. These revenues were crucial for funding government operations, from infrastructure projects to social services. The government's budget discussions increasingly focused on how to best utilize the oil wealth to drive national development. This newfound wealth, at least on paper, provided the means to invest in public services and improve the lives of ordinary Nigerians. Roads were built, schools were funded, and healthcare facilities were improved. The oil revenues promised a brighter future, with the potential to lift millions out of poverty and create a more equitable society. Yet the reality on the ground was often starkly different. While some areas saw significant improvements, others were left behind. The wealth generated by oil did not always trickle down to the average Nigerian, leading to disparities and tensions within the society. Moreover, the oil industry brought with it a host of challenges. Environmental degradation, social unrest, and economic dependency on a single resource became pressing issues. Protests erupted as communities demanded a fair share of the oil wealth and better environmental practices. In response, Nigerian leaders have been working to address these challenges. Initiatives aimed at diversifying the economy and ensuring more equitable distribution of wealth have been launched. The goal is to create a sustainable and inclusive economic model that benefits all Nigerians. As Nigeria continues to navigate the complexities of its oil-driven economy, there is hope. The resilience and ingenuity of its people, coupled with strategic initiatives, hold the promise of a brighter future. The story of Nigeria's oil is still being written, and with it, the potential for a nation that truly thrives.
The Nigerian government, fueled by oil revenues, embarked on ambitious infrastructure projects. New roads, bridges, and airports were constructed, connecting different parts of the country and facilitating trade and commerce. The government also invested heavily in education and healthcare, building new schools, universities, and hospitals.
The impact of oil on Nigeria's economic growth presents a complex and nuanced picture. On the one hand, oil revenues undoubtedly fueled economic expansion, providing the means for infrastructure development and social programs. The influx of foreign investment created jobs and spurred industrial growth, transforming Nigeria into a major player on the global stage.
The discovery of oil propelled Nigeria onto the global stage, marking a significant turning point in the nation's history. Before this discovery, Nigeria was primarily known for its agricultural exports and was still finding its footing as a newly independent nation. The oil boom, however, changed everything, transforming it from a newly independent nation into a key player in the international arena. As one of the world's largest oil producers, Nigeria suddenly commanded the attention of global superpowers and multinational corporations, eager to secure access to its valuable resources. This newfound status gave Nigeria a voice in international forums and a platform to advocate for its interests. Nigeria's membership in the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, further amplified its global influence. OPEC, a cartel of major oil-producing nations, aims to control oil production and prices on the global market. Nigeria's involvement in OPEC allowed it to collaborate with other oil-rich nations to influence global oil policies and prices, ensuring that its voice was heard on the world stage. The oil industry brought about rapid economic growth and development, transforming the country's infrastructure and creating numerous job opportunities. Cities like Lagos and Port Harcourt experienced unprecedented growth, becoming bustling hubs of commerce and industry. However, this rapid development also brought challenges. The wealth generated from oil was not evenly distributed, leading to significant economic disparities and social tensions within the country. Additionally, the environmental impact of oil extraction became a major concern. Oil spills and gas flaring caused significant damage to the Niger Delta region, affecting the livelihoods of local communities and leading to widespread protests. The Nigerian government and oil companies faced increasing pressure to address these environmental and social issues, balancing economic growth with sustainable practices. Despite these challenges, Nigeria's position as a major oil producer has solidified its role in the global economy. The country's leaders continue to navigate the complexities of the oil industry, striving to leverage their resources for national development while addressing the concerns of their citizens. Nigeria's journey from a newly independent nation to a key player on the global stage is a testament to the transformative power of oil and the resilience of its people.
While oil undoubtedly propelled Nigeria onto the global stage, this newfound prominence came with its own set of challenges. The international community often viewed Nigeria through the lens of its oil wealth, neglecting its rich history, cultural diversity, and potential in other sectors. This narrow focus on oil sometimes hindered the development of other sectors and perpetuated a narrative that reduced Nigeria to its oil reserves.
The discovery of oil in Nigeria triggered a surge in employment opportunities, attracting a workforce eager to capitalize on the burgeoning industry. The oil and gas sector became a major employer, providing jobs not only in oil extraction and refining, but also in a wide range of ancillary industries. From geologists and engineers to welders and pipe fitters, the demand for skilled labor soared, drawing workers from all corners of the country and beyond. the discovery of oil in Nigeria attracted significant foreign investment as multinational oil companies poured resources into exploration, production, and infrastructure development. This influx of capital not only boosted the Nigerian economy, but also facilitated the transfer of technology and expertise. Foreign companies brought with them advanced drilling techniques, refining processes, and management systems, which gradually disseminated into the local economy.
The discovery of oil transformed Nigeria's industrial landscape, giving rise to new industrial hubs and transforming existing ones. Port Harcourt, located in the heart of the Niger Delta, emerged as the epicenter of the oil industry, attracting a multitude of oil companies, service providers, and ancillary businesses. The city's port became a major hub for oil exports, while its industrial zones housed refineries, petrochemical plants, and manufacturing facilities. The discovery of oil in Nigeria presented a paradox, a nation blessed with abundant natural resources, yet grappling with persistent poverty and underdevelopment. This phenomenon, often referred to as the resource curse, highlights the dangers of over-reliance on a single commodity for economic growth. While oil revenues initially fueled rapid economic expansion, they also created a dangerous dependency that left Nigeria vulnerable to the volatility of global commodity markets.
Nigeria's economic dependence on oil extended beyond government revenue and foreign exchange earnings. The oil and gas sector, while a major employer, did not create sufficient jobs to absorb the country's rapidly growing workforce. This led to high unemployment, particularly among young people, fueling social unrest and hindering the development of a robust middle class.
The discovery of oil, while a potential boon for Nigeria, cast a long shadow of corruption over the nation. The vast sums generated by oil exports became a magnet for greed and mismanagement. Instead of being used to uplift the lives of ordinary Nigerians, a significant portion of this wealth was siphoned off into private pockets, leaving the majority to grapple with poverty and lack of basic services.
The Niger Delta, the heart of Nigeria's oil production, bears the brunt of the environmental degradation caused by decades of oil exploration and extraction. Oil spills, a tragically common occurrence, have poisoned rivers and farmlands, destroying ecosystems and livelihoods. The air is thick with the fumes of gas flaring, releasing harmful pollutants into the atmosphere and contributing to respiratory illnesses among the local population.
The environmental damage in the Niger Delta has had a devastating impact on local communities. Fishermen who once relied on the bounty of the rivers and creeks for their livelihood now find their nets empty, their traditional way of life decimated. Farmers struggle to grow crops in soil contaminated by oil spills, their harvests dwindling, their families facing food insecurity. The discovery of oil in Nigeria, while intended to be a blessing, sowed seeds of discord across the nation. The concentration of oil wealth in the Niger Delta, while other regions remained economically marginalized, fueled resentment and ignited social conflict. The oil-producing communities, bearing the brunt of environmental degradation and economic exploitation, demanded a greater share of the oil wealth, leading to tensions with the government and oil companies.
The allure of oil wealth, with its promise of quick riches, blinded many to the importance of diversifying Nigeria's economy. As oil revenues flowed in, other sectors, particularly agriculture and manufacturing, were neglected, leaving the nation vulnerable to the volatility of global oil prices and hindering long-term sustainable development.
The discovery of oil in Nigeria presents a poignant tale of immense potential, squandered opportunities, and the enduring struggle for a more equitable and sustainable future. While oil wealth brought temporary economic gains and propelled Nigeria onto the global stage, it also exacerbated existing social and economic disparities, fueled corruption, and ravaged the environment. Transforming Nigeria's oil wealth into a true blessing for all its citizens requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of the oil curse and lays the foundation for a more diversified and sustainable economy. This transformation begins with good governance, transparency, and accountability.